is time for change to move into the real work of the universe. And it's time to understand that we use the matter state to reach the level of understanding of the soul of the man. Now you understand maybe why the Creator has sent his messengers in the name of whatever you have had. Is that they bring the ears that it can be used when the time of the Messiah comes. They can teach the soul and the message, not to oppose. But by them understanding through those who have become Messiahs, to give from their souls to these to elevate, the job is made easy. The school is there and the students are devotedly there. Then there won't be any fight between what they call the Muslims and the Christians. The lamb and the lion will eat and sleep in the same nest. The Christians and the Muslims will sleep and pray in the mosque and in the same church in the name of their souls, not in the name of religion that is used to create so much conflict for the benefit of those who were the hyperactive children. The time has come, the time of change is here. And as I said, my wish is my command. If it's your wish to see peace, the path of peace is laid very clearly. It's the soul of the collective awareness. By giving will create that position of change. No other thing. There is no pen in the soul of the man. And I'm sure once you go into the universal community, you will never see anything written but the balance of the fields of the soul of the existence. Try to be humble enough not to become arrogant in the power that you have understood and you possess. Otherwise, you'll fall in the same path of the church and the mosque. This is what we promised, and this is what we have delivered. We have to understand the operation of the soul, and we have to understand the soul of the man is a star in the cosmos of the universe. If we compare the soul of the man and many of us, 7 billion in one collection, Earth is like a galaxy with so many stars. When we look in the depth of the universe, we see galaxies with hundreds of millions of stars in it. So is the planet Earth. It carries 7 billion beautiful stars, which are the soul of the man. Carries with it soul of so many trillions of animals, plants, and everything else. So if you look, when someone who does not see the physicality of the earth and its content, what do they see? They see a galaxy with so many beautiful lights shining, each one according to their strength, each one according to their position. An infant has a beautiful soul, so has the old man. To those who do not see the physical dimension of this planet, but they see the strength of the field, we are clusters of stars. The human race, every single soul, no one from a distance sees that's the soul of a fisherman, that's the soul of the cosmologist, that's the soul of the president. They all shine irrespective of the physicality. This is the magic. This is what the new science has to bring to man. When we look through our soul, we see nothing but we star in the other souls. And this is the break. This is the understanding. This is what all these teachings are about. Coming to mature to the next level, to understand in the deep space, the universe is the oyster for those souls who serve. Then man is ready to go into space. Then man is ready to become part of the universal community which has been promised. I never promised you heaven. I always promised you the elevation of the man to join the family. And now you have the key. It's you who has to open the door to understand, if I can raise the soul of these people or millions of other souls, that the physical life on this planet changes, then I'm worthy to be part of the universal community. To be there to serve, to expand. To be there, to be part, that in the cycle of life of universe, I become, in being part, I become part of the totality. When man reaches that point, a new dimension in the strength of the soul of the man will appear, which is beyond imagination of understanding of the physical life. It's the gate to the opening of the new life, in a new dimension, which is beyond imagination of what you might call a new beginning, a new cycle. Which that cycle carries with itself the origin of the creation of life in the universe and the universe. It's the elevation of the soul to serve become the key, not a throne of the physical life. The time is right. The time has come for the man to go through this process.
Welcome everyone to the 73rd One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace. It's Tuesday, April 2nd, 2019. My name's Rick Crammond. I'll be your host today, along with Flint Mulhausen. And of course, we'll be joined with Carolina Kesh of the Kesh Foundation. And I think she's ready to go with today's educational session. Mrs. Kesh, are you ready to go?
Yes, Rick. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope we all have a nice cup of tea, coffee, and are ready to go. Have you received, Flint, if you check your Zoom account, have you received a part of Mr. Kesh's teaching? And I think, Rick, you might have received it as well.
Yeah, I'm looking.
And that is, have you found it?
Yeah.
I am trying to post part of it in the chat here, but I don't know if it's going to take all of it.
You can send it to me in Telegram.
You don't have it?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. What you mean in Facebook, perhaps?
Ah, okay. I put, yes. Go into the chat room, Flint, or Rick, you can pick it up there. I posted it there. It is a beautiful topic which came in the soul teaching yesterday. Why the planet Earth is blue, explained on the scientific way. But in the soul teaching, it came on a different level because Mr. Keshe is emphasizing for us to know the colors. And because colors are a strength field. You found it?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, I see it in the chat here.
Yep. So that all the other students can pick it up as well. I think that's the part of the link of Mr. Keshe's presentation about this. If you could be so kind to play it as a starter.
So we have permission to play this, right? Because the private teachings are supposed to stay on the private side normally.
Is this private teaching?
Yes.
Oh. Oh, that I didn't know.
Yeah, that's why it was in the private session.
But, okay. Well,
So
the students have... So what?
Yeah.
I don't think it would...
from it some way or in generally, because some excerpts from the private teachings can be used. But pardon me, Flint?
I think it's okay to read it. You just can't play it.
Yeah, you can
I
read
think
it.
so.
Flint, maybe in the background, can you check if it's only that fragment of the private teaching?
Okay.
Not the whole teaching. Because it is a very beautiful to start today to understand the soul of the man and the color of what the planet Earth is representing. And then I elaborate more on it after you checked. And if you can read the text, please.
So sorry, you want it like, do you want me to read it now or?
Yes, please.
Okay. And let's see, do we want to copy that into a text that we can see as well?
Yeah, I removed the link of the teaching, but it cannot harm because students only students have access to this, yeah?
All the text isn't there. It got cut off in the Zoom chat.
Can you say again, Flint?
All the text isn't there. It's cut off in the Zoom chat.
Yeah, it ends at the color of the star comes from the interact. It should be interaction of something or another.
Flint, I'm going to try to post it in your Telegram. And
Okay.
I hope, because not all of it is there. Yeah, okay.
Okay.
It's in here in Telegram. Just go and copy it there, please. But my point is, if it is from the private teaching, only students can go through their passwords into this teaching, yeah?
That's right, yeah.
So if Flint can double check if it's just that fragment of that text, then it should be okay to play because it's beautiful. But the more important thing comes after, when you played it or when you read it.
Yeah, I don't know if we can play it because that gets into the whole copyright thing again.
Okay, then just read it. It's beautiful. It's a transcript of it, so it's beautiful.
Okay. Let's see.
I do apologize. I'm just going more for the content of where it came from. I didn't pay attention.
Okay, I think I've got it copied over here. So the end of it is two plasmas cutting each other, I believe, right?
Flint has the copy of the whole text.
Yeah,
That's the only part I have too.
Well, Eva's put it in here as well, but I just don't understand which part goes where here yet.
check your Telegram there, Rick.
Telegram for Rick. There we are.
I do apologize. I can't go faster because I am still on the move. I will be stable in about 10-15 minutes. But I thought it was a very nice way to start.
Okay, I've got that copied over and I can share that. Just a minute here. Okay, I think we've got it ready here now, so I'll read it. And once again, this is an excerpt from some of the private teachings. It's a quote from Mr. Keshe. Set it up here. There we go. The existence of nitrogen on an upper atmosphere and the existence of sodium and chlorine due to the magnetic gravitational rotation create the blue color of the Earth. The blue color of the Earth is totally due to the gravitational magnetic field of the nitrogen, sodium, and chlorine in conjunction with amino acids, part of which is a nitrogen itself. They on the surface interact with the gravitational magnetic fields, which comes from the center of the Earth, which is Earth gravitational magnetic field, and the interaction of the ganses of them with what you call amino acids and the other materials which are in the GAN state and the nitrogen upper level and at the nitrogen upper level of the Earth's atmosphere, which is in the GAN state, creates the blue color. So we see, even if you look, I've explained this before, if you look at the sky and you see different color stars, the color of the star comes from the interaction of the gravitational magnetical of the plasma on the upper surface with the inner core gravitational magnetical field. It is two plasmas cutting each other. The same as the daylight of the Earth. The daylight comes due to the interaction of four fields, forces the color of the blue of the planet is primarily to do with nitrogen in upper atmosphere with the gravitational field of the Earth, and sodium and chlorine play a significant game in the structure of the color. So when you add different materials, you get different color. Okay.
The reason, thank you very much, Rick. The reason why I brought this forward is that blue stands for love and caring. And in one of Mr. Keshe's teachings, he says, when you can change your eyes to the color blue, it means you've reached your soul. And this is why I brought this part forward. A lot of people were asking, yeah, how is this possible? And I brought the topic up in an example. When you feel very grateful that you have received something, because you received something at the same time you acknowledge the understanding of it. That feeling of gratitude with the acknowledgement of you being able to comprehend this, and it is that kind of beautiful feeling, you just put yourself, or you come into a different state, and that is when you can see that appearing of the change of the color of the eyes. That means you have let go. Mr. Keshe last time, he mentioned fall in love, because at the same state, loving means letting go. You don't care about anything. You know that you love, and that is a gift, and that is what you acknowledge, that you can love and you can be loved. And this was on the topic yesterday in the soul teaching. On the other hand, it is also very nice to bring this in public domain for people which are interested to become students. There is so much information that is going on in our private teachings. And Mr. Keshe brings this kind of gifts, and it is an encouragement to inform people that they can become a student, that they have access to this beautiful knowledge and teaching. And the planet as Earth is blue because what have we learned here in this process on existing here and coming from this planet is love. And this is the gift that we will carry as humanity when we start traveling in space, when we start interacting with other beings. This is that extra gift that we are creating here, that we carry. And this is why the color blue is also related to the color of the eyes when they turn blue. It means that you have reached your state of soul. And that is the explanation from it. Anybody, any questions, please?
Sorry, what was that last bit, Caroline? I couldn't hear you there. Just
yes,
the last part of the sentence.
Yes. I said, what did you not hear anymore? Because I switched microphone. I just arrived in a stable network.
Just the last couple of words, I think. Last couple of words that you said there.
Yes, that the planet blue stands for love. That the color of your eyes, when it turns blue, as Mr. Keshe explains, that you come very close to your soul. That is the explanation for it. But at the same time, I would love to know if anyone has any questions or sharing on this topic.
Well, Well, I certainly do. Does that mean that everybody who doesn't have blue eyes is not close to their soul? I don't understand how that works.
That was the same question which popped up on the table.
Because otherwise you're going to have everybody listening checking their eyes first thing in the morning in the mirror to see if they've changed color, to see if they can finally reach the spiritual heights of blue eyes. And I don't think that's the way it's meant. I don't think it's meant to separate people and to divide them. There's something wrong with that part of what I'm hearing.
Yeah, 2/3 of the planet has brown eyes.
Yeah, so is 2/3 of the planet not evolved and aren't able to access their soul? That doesn't make sense.
No. It means that you are in alignment closer to your soul. No, that was the same reaction yesterday. Oh, if you don't have blue eyes.
Sorry, we lost that last sentence, Caroline, that faded out there. It's not that you don't have something about blue eyes, and then we lost the last part of the sentence. Still not hearing you. I think it's a bandwidth thing. Still not hearing you. Let me see. She go out to.
Yes, I'm sorry. I just got stable.
Oh, there we go.
So I have to switch network. That's what I lost. Sorry.
Okay.
No, it is. I explained it the same way as you have. Do you remember the girl that when she was young, and we seen the pictures, me and Mr. Kesh, that she adjusted her physicality to be able to play the harp? That you have the ability to change, to adjust your whole physicality to what you desire to do? This is in the same way, the same explanation. That you are, you have everything within you. It's not because you don't carry that color yet that you're not. That has nothing to do with it. It means that you can go. I took a reading in this, and then maybe you will understand. Just 1 second, I'll read it for you. Because that puts the misunderstanding correct in regards with the blue eyes. Mr. Kesh, our message is very simple. The man himself is part of the creator. And this is the eventual understanding of the teachings. When you are part of total, you are the total. You carry all the essence of it. It's you who decide to what limit you want the essence to manifest itself. When you stand and look at the totality, you have to be impartial to every aspect, be it the way you've been brought up, the way you were educated, because being impartial, just look at everything else. You don't need to defend position. And not defending a position, you don't spend energy, but you add to the energy because from what you learn, knowledge, if you ever understood, is sharing part of the soul of the man who gave you the knowledge. This is what man has not understood in most of the work of this culture. When you read something from Einstein, when you read something from Edison, when you read something from Tesla, when you read it, it's just reading. But when you understand, you receive the knowledge of the soul. Now, how can you be different even in regard, because you don't have blue eyes, does that mean you don't carry the essence of the beauty and the totality? No. It is a state that you can obtain when you know what path to follow or what direction to follow or how to develop yourself to reach that level. These are all the parts of the teachings of Mr. Keshe, and he gives you examples that you get the confirmation that you have achieved a different state when you see certain signs. One of these is what I'm trying to use for you is the example of the eyes, not even turning permanently blue, but that you can see the blue shine coming into your eyes. So it is a path of development. And remember, Mr. Keshe said, you are the only one who limits itself in what you can achieve. So that was misunderstood yesterday the same way. It has nothing to do that you're different. It's just changing by your field strength in understanding certain parts of Mr. Keshe to walk the path to be able to achieve certain things. Blue is a color that when you're gonna go and travel into space, you will be blue, because that is from the planet where we came from. Planet Earth is blue, and blue stands for love. And if you go right across Mr. Keshe's teachings, you will find the information about this. And what I always said in my first or my second, one is public, one is private. I said, we must be very special to receive a person like Mr. Keshe showering us with this kind of knowledge and elevating all of us in this kind of way. And it is for everyone equal to learn and to have access to this knowledge. I said, we must be extremely important. And then Mr. Keshe in his teachings has explained that the earth is like a nursery. If you even go back to last Thursday teaching, he explains it again. You are part pardon, of a change. You're part of a transition. And we all agreed to be here. If you remember in Barletta, when Mr. Keshe said to the students in front of him, he said, if you think that you decided to be here sitting right in front of me, you are so wrong, he says. It is your soul that brought you here to be here today. Because the souls which are within the foundation at this moment, they are all working on a plan that was already for thousands of years in place to appear here to bring this change, working all together to bring that change. But what do we carry as a human being from this planet? What does this planet do with her life, with her, whoever is here present on this planet? It nurtures it feeds it, it looks after it, it grows it, it foresees from everything what is needed. But what are we very well known for as a human person? That we love and we care. We love and we care for our cats or children or dogs or animals or birds or plants or trees or gardens. We care. And that is the beauty of the essence which we carry as a human being. And this is the gift that we will pass on to others when we interact with others. So please do not interpret because you don't have blue eyes, because there are so many children which are born with blue eyes And then when they come to an age of around 9 months to up to a year, then certainly, pardon, the colors of the eye change and then they become permanent. But the first few months of their life is blue. And then you have children which are born with blue eyes and they stay blue. But it's not that kind of blue we are talking about. It's a specific blue, and that stands for love. Now you remember the teaching of Mr. Keshe, Rick?
Yeah, still not totally clear on that, but.
Does it make more sense to you now? That it is a state to achieve, and not even permanent, but it is nice to see how you can change, and then you know, because it's the state of the emotion and the intent which brings that blue. And if you can hold on to it, then you can keep it for longer periods of time. But it's not the same blue as the people which are having blue eyes. And that is where the mistake happened. It's a different type of blue. And if the private students want to know more, I do please invite you to go to yesterday's soul teaching. It was absolutely a beautiful session. Anybody, any questions, please?
I wonder if the blue in the eyes has a similar interaction of the fields as Mr. Keshe's quoted. The quote is, the interaction of 4 fields forces the color of the blue. And we have the interaction of the amino acids in particular. Of course, the nitrogen is important, but we have all that in the amino acids in our body. And is it the interaction of our own sun, our soul, basically, with the physicality in the same way as the sun interacts with the Earth's atmosphere, then our soul interacting with our atmosphere, our physicality atmosphere, could produce that blue color.
Yes, because he said, you got to know the colors when you travel in the universe. Now you understand the importance through examples, why it is where it is, and how you can learn the understanding of the different colors. Because if you take the color chart and you take a Kirlian photography, and you're working on the auras and you're working on the chakras, it's always with a visual reflection of the color. And now if you take not only your own body, which is emanating these colors and that they can picture it, now look at the universe where the different planets have the different colors. And if you go and analyze their composition in their field strength, then you learn more why they're composed with this color, and then you understand their field strength. Because if you know the field strength of that color, let's say of Mercurius, which when you even say the name Mercurius, if you look at Mercury here on this planet, it has the same color. Now, you all know the composition of Mercury. So it should give you more and more information how to link up with, how to travel from one to another place. if you know the composition of Earth, and that was in the last Thursday teaching, Mr. Keshe said, understand the field strength, understand the colors, understand how to travel. Because you had a lot of fun last Thursday, didn't you, Rick?
Yeah, it was a good session.
Yes. Now this is maybe an extra part in the understanding or finding the way, why and how, and also the functionality, why it is there in the first place, because the planet is in a GAN state and it has this nano-coated layer, and then you know the composition, and then you look at the other planets, you learn about their composition and their GAN state and their nano-coating. So if traveling is all to know about the field strength and the composition of the materials, then it should open a different door in how to achieve that. But also then with your own body, because it matters. So if you can adjust your state in towards what Mr. Keshe is guiding you to understand, I think we are in for a beautiful journey by Thursday morning. And we can ask more questions to Mr. Keshe to open up more that door of understanding. So it's all a field strength, which you change because you change your emotion, you change your intent, and you change with the knowledge that you can. I don't say that everybody has to go in front and sit all day in front of the mirror. I'm just saying if you can call up a memory like this, which gives you that intense, beautiful feeling, and you can hold on to it, then go and have a glimpse in the mirror and see if you can achieve it. And if it doesn't happen, maybe next time. Or when you go through that kind of overwhelming, good feeling, check your eyes. You're doing it without you even knowing it. And that's the beauty of it.
Yes, we had a comment from Bente that emphasizes that point that I brought up. She says, sorry, me, I have brown eyes. But I can access my soul, and very well indeed. And all my kids have brown eyes. All Africans have brown eyes, Indians, most Iranians, etc., etc. So I do not accept the blue eye theory. Fine if we are about to leave this planet and leaving the body behind, so our eye turns a bluish. That is a different matter. She mentions even Mr. Keshe's eyes are brown. So it's if it's a different kind, a different type of blue, that should be stated at the beginning. So yeah, I guess that's important, as you brought up, Carolina, that the idea that it's a different type of blue. It's I was thinking maybe it's the difference between like normally when we see a color of the eyes, it's if it's blue, it's actually, that's the reflected color that we see. It's actually absorbing all of the other colors of the spectrum and so on. So depending on what color we see is just the reflected color. It's not truly the color of what it is in a way. But in the case of emitted light, like the sun or a light bulb or some other source of light, it can be in different colors that are, it's not the reflected light, that is the emitted light, the true light, you might say. So I'm wondering if that might have to do with it. Perhaps when we connect with our soul in a certain way, instead of the reflected light of the eyes that we normally see, the color that way, maybe we could see the emitted light that is produced from that sort of friction of the fields, and that becomes more like the sun shining rather than the reflection off the moon or off of some other reflected object that gives us the reflected color of that object. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do understand. Do you remember when the Mojans start coming forward, speaking about their experience with Mr. Keshe?
Okay, could you be more specific?
I think Stefania brought it in one of the platforms. That was one of the first things that Mr. Keshe confirmed. That when you achieve or come near to the state of the soul, that the blue color is appearing. It's a state. It's you who is adjusting yourself towards a different state, a different field strength. And you can find all the traces throughout the teachings. You will bump into it if you can work with the index. If it's that for already progressed, you will find the information. I didn't have enough time to collect all of them, but it just came up on the surface yesterday as we were working and talking. The beauty is that each one of you is no different than any of the others. We're all equal. We're all in the same developing, each one in a different journey, but as knowledge seekers, we are working all towards one target, which is the World Peace Treaty. And as Mr. Keshe said, this planet is about to give birth to us, so we're going to be spit out, as he said, and he's like a midwife here. So all this information is to support you with more understanding in more depth, and some people will be able to grasp and apply and change and maybe pass it on to others, but it's all depending on which and what is your journey of this whole totality of working. So no, it's nothing personally, and I am born with brown eyes. My youngest has blue eyes because the grandmothers are blue eyes. But does that mean anything? No. They're green-eyed people, they're dark brown, they're black-eyed people. So that has nothing to do with it. It's that you can change your condition, and it's that change which then refers to that color blue, which then you know how to change your position. That's all. And that's the beauty of it. The same as the girl adjusted her whole physicality to be able to play a harp, which she didn't have the age nor the height. She was very young, and a harp is huge. But the pictures were showing how she developed to reach the last snares on the harp to be able to play it. And she plays beautiful. I listened to her work. I was there. And these are all the observations which Mr. Keshe picks up, and then he documents it, and then he shares it with all of you. That you can change and choose at any given moment. You can completely you have the freedom.
Speaking of arms, I see there's a comment here. You mentioned Stefania as one of the first Mojans. And apparently she explained that part of her arm turned blue when she was in the Mojan classes.
Yes.
I don't remember that part, so that's interesting.
Yes. And that's where Mr. Keshe asked, how did you feel and with what were you busy when just before that color appeared? And then she brought that memory back. And the memory is the acknowledgement of your own beauty and in gratitude at the same time that you understood what was given. It's a pure love for what is. nothing special. And he said, when humanity will be recognized on the blue color, because the blue stands for love, and we are coming from a blue planet. And we are composed of those field strengths which he just explained, and that's the reason why I brought it here in the text. The understanding where the blue is coming from, because he encouraged us last week and the week before to understand all the field strengths, but also the connection with the colors, because if you remember, he mentioned when the reactor in China was going, that the lights appeared and they changed the light. The frequency keeps on changing. And when you ever have witnessed a true UFO, you've seen the lights. And that's the confirmation, or one of the confirmations, that it's a true UFO.
I see that Dan made a good comparison or a relationship with nitrogen, which is the main element that seems to produce the blue in our atmosphere and with Earth, and equal to the carbon-14, nitrogen being 14. And Mark adds the nitrogen -2 equals 12, and that's actually the carbon. And also, what's that? Nitrogen +2 becomes 16. And what's that? And we know 16 is the oxygen. So he goes on to say, as I understand it at this point, nitrogen is created through the interaction of the sun and the earth in the atmosphere. And so nitrogen goes both ways, or transmutes as it gains or loses energy. So this perhaps is the, you might say, the most important or the main reaction that's going on in this planet, especially in the atmosphere, or from the vantage point of someone from space looking in on Earth and seeing this blueness. And they would, if they knew, if they had, knowledge and understanding, which they probably would if they're looking in on us, they would understand about this transmutation of the nitrogen, that it can become the carbon, it can become the oxygen, and all of those together, with the Mr. Cohn adding hydrogen in there, and you've got the magic combination to make amino acids and the basis of life, or at least the amino acid type life forms. And surely whenever these conditions occur in space, in the galaxy, in the universe somewhere, and you can bet it happens plenty of other places, probably in different combinations, so it'd be different amino acids and different life forms. But when those all those items come together, and maybe with a bit of spark from some lightning or static or some other interaction, and bingo, we have life. So this nitrogen is very important in its transmutation, and maybe that act of transmutation in itself is represented through that, the color blue, and maybe it goes through the universe that way.
When these kind of topics come on, it opens new doors, and then by next Thursday, the interaction with Mr. Keshe changes, because you have more to ask more, so he can open more doors in understanding And this is the whole topic of the teaching, is the space connected with our soul, traveling, understanding our field strengths. So I thought it was a nice topic to bring today, and maybe to prepare quite a few knowledge seekers for being ready for opening more doors on Thursday.
We do have a question from Marius, who asks, what does the brown color of the eyes mean?
And that is exactly my point, that the darker the eyes are, the more you absorb.
So the more receiving you are, perhaps, might be an indicator.
Absorb. You absorb more. You can find a lot of this information in the medical teachings, which are, I hope, will appear very soon when they're ready to be going back. Flint, how far are you with those?
They're coming along. Probably into this month.
I don't think that we have to wait till they're all finished. I think as they are getting finished, I think they kind of start appearing on our website.
Yeah, they'll be coming in this month.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Because there is so much information in there which will make what we just discussed today and the previous teachings of Mr. Keshe will open up so many doors in the understanding, even your positioning of your organs, in the understanding with the planetary system of our universe and the purpose for what they're serving. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing. And Mr. Keshe drops here and there, but it's never complete because he already taught everything about it. But they will appear on our website and people will really enjoy those medical teachings. They are absolutely great. And you will receive a lot of answers in there. Because it's all linked with the emotion, with the field strength, with the understanding, with color, with positioning. It's, as Mr. Keshe said, in different parts, none of us will ever understand the totality. Because he said, every human being is equal to all. And the knowledge is shared among different groups, but then to come and to function as one. So one cannot go ahead of the other one. They all need to mature in their own field of understanding, and that will bring the totality of the understanding of the teaching. So we all know that we have the medical part, we have the agriculture part, we have the energy, we have the spaceships, we have the star formations, we have the magras, we have so many different fields which are all developing each individual in their own section. And once they're all gonna come homogene together, that's where the whole humanity will benefit from. So it's no use chasing to know everything, but to understand what your heart is pulling you through or attract you to develop and to teach and to share, because that's where you feel comfortable. That's where you can give the most. And then as we work as a totality, because we are all sharing on one platform, but in different departments, that's where the totality will show in the benefit of the totality of humanity. But your part is as important as like a part of a wheel of a clock. If you don't have all the parts, the clock cannot run, or it can't show you the time. And this is exactly how Mr. Keshe has explained it in the public platforms, how this knowledge will come together to be one. to serve humanity and everything which is on this planet and the planet and our universe as one. Anybody, any questions or sharing?
We have an attendee with the hand up. Abraham, would you like to go ahead there?
Yes, do you hear me?
Yes,
Yep.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Aviram. I am from Quebec, Canada. Right now in Guatemala, trying to help there. And I have a wish, if I may. My wish is, it's connected in some way to what Carolina, you just told us right now, that our knowledge is, each of us carries an aspect of the knowledge according to his abilities to understand and according to his likings. And only together we can bring the totality of the knowledge. And also, I think that applies also to our way to create peace in the world and our way to serve and not to be served. So my wish is in that context, it's concerning actually me and all the others who are not, for some reason, not part of the Keshe Foundation or the Universal Council, Earth Council, but we are working on our own under the same banner of we are here to serve and not to be served. So I wish that I wish that the Keshe Foundation, the Universal Council and the Earth Council trust, support and help all the knowledge seekers which are working on their own within the motto, we are here to serve and not to be served, on our path to world peace. Hello?
Yes, we'll have to get that. You want to write that down, right? So we need
I can put it in the chat or something.
Oh, that'd be great if you could do that, and then we could transfer it to the document to have a look at it.
Okay. The problem is actually with us. Since 2015, we publish freely what we can gather from the knowledge seekers workshops, One Nation, One World, testimonials, and other sources on Facebook groups in French and in English for free. And we need to live on something. So we have a web shop where we sell plasma products, and the plasma products are done with according to the protocols of the Keshe Foundation. And we show to everything we want to sell, we show how it's done. So people have the complete choice to either do it themselves, or if they cannot or have no time, then they can also buy it from us. And that is how we support ourselves to be able to share knowledge freely. And now we have a glitch with the French group because they say, as soon as there is a link to any website which is not part of the Keshe Foundation, we will not publish anything of you. And that is, I think, not really helping each other. And that's where my wish comes from. The wish is in the Zoom chat now.
Okay, thank you. We just have to get the Flint. Do you want to bring up the the website wishes, or shall I?
And there. Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, let me get that lined up here.
Oh, I forgot important thing. I am present.
See where.
Voila.
Wiki. Getting there, just bear with me a minute. Here we are. Okay, I'll share that. Okay, and we hear some background action there, Abraham, I think, on your microphone. You might want to mute when it's when you're not talking there, perhaps. Okay, let me just get this lined up.
It's at the very top there. You just want to click on April in that box.
Yeah, it's April now.
And then edit.
Ah, yes.
And then I'd go down under there. Bold sentence there. There you go.
So
right in between the bold sentence and wiki table.
That box? No.
No, this box. Oh, right there.
Okay, so let me see. Let's get this quote quoted and see if it goes in. Okay. And put in do you want your last name in as well, Abraham?
No, it's fine. Everybody knows me only by Abiram.
Okay, yeah, I kind of thought so.
Yeah, if you print another name, then they don't know who it is anymore.
Right. Okay, so I'll just read the wish here so that we can get on board. I wish that the Keshe Foundation, the Universal Council, and the Earth Council trust, support, and help all the knowledge seekers who are working on their own within the motto, we are here to serve and not to be served.
Yeah, I was thinking also that the motto is very, very important because there is always news about people who take possession of the teachings and the knowledge shared by the Keshe Foundation, and then they change names and they don't put any reference, and they do their own stick with it, and they try to make money on and not give back anything. And I think for that it is important to be able to see the difference, that this wish does not want to support just anybody who wants to use the new plasma science, but anybody who wants to use it within the ethos what we all share.
Right, absolutely.
And in this context, we did, for example, since the very beginning, we give 10% of the net revenues to the Keshe Foundation as a token of our gratitude. And we sell a few things which are not related to plasma science. And for this, we give also 10% to Kiva. Maybe you know Kiva, it's a microfinancing platform which helps refugees, women, like economically disadvantaged people in the whole world to create their own revenues and not depend on, you know, what.
Yeah, I think all that's great, Abraham. I think the main issue that comes up is with some products that are not approved, that are not certified by the government that you're under. And this is not okay with the Keshe Foundation to have uncertified products. And that's, I think, the core issue at the whole thing. The Keshe Foundation doesn't sell products that aren't certified. They've tried to in the past, and it doesn't work, and you end up with problems with authorities and so on. So everything has to be certified. And if you're selling GANs, then the GANs has to be certified. It has to be certified by the government agencies so that it's non-toxic and has certain things that you claim and certain things that are not in it, you know, like heavy metals and all that kind of stuff. And it costs a lot of money to get products certified, especially in Canada. It's the whole health thing is very controlled, and it's very difficult to get new health products onto the market without having lots of money and lawyers behind it and so on. So this is the big issue.
Yeah, I have one of my brothers who is in Germany. He does certification for Europe or Germany, but that doesn't count in Canada. And on the other hand, that's why we say we do not produce pharmaceutical products or medical application, but supplements. And when you say supplements, you do not have to have that certification.
Well, that's not, if you have products that have GANs in them, then that's and are offering it to the public, then that starts to become an issue, because if it's something that they ingest or something they put on their body or that kind of thing, then that's that becomes a whole issue, and the products have to be certified both by the local authorities and accepted by the Keshe Foundation as products that they are willing to have the Keshe Foundation logo attached to. And that has to go through all the proper processes with the manufacturing team and with the through Mr. Keshe, and to have every product certified that way. And if you have products that are innovative and so on, then they can be, you know, you can work with the Keshe Foundation to have them actually produce them and show them through the Keshe Foundation store and that whole avenue, and get into a business relationship with that as well, and get you know, paid for the innovative part of it and become part of that innovative team. But it's a
is
tricky
there anybody
thing.
I can contact?
Well, there's the contact forms in the
yeah, I did that. Like, I did that 3 times.
In which contact forms? There's many contact
there is
forms.
one of manufacturer and distributor.
Right. There's
and
also
then,
there's,
yeah, and they
perhaps we can look at that.
Yeah, they are very unresponsive, I must say.
Well, there's a lot of issues with trying to get set up with Canada and so on. The manufacturing is very busy with what they're doing. And to be honest, I think Canada is probably right about at the bottom of the list of Mr. Keshe's aspirations to bring to the world, because look what Canada did to him. They incarcerated him for 11 days. That was his visit to Canada.
Yeah,
so what do we expect?
Oh, I have a solution.
And you know, that's part of what I've been doing for years, is try to repair that relationship and try to keep Canada in the ball game and not totally be ignored.
Yeah.
But the manufacturing has been lacking in Canada. We have none, and we don't have that backing right now for manufacturing. So maybe it's, you know, that becomes a really dicey deal, because I know you're trying really hard and you've got some great products, and you do you know, you have the ethics behind you that you want to help people and all of that. But at the same time, how do we make money? We have to make, especially in Canada, one of the most expensive countries in the world. And, you know, I live in an area that has some of the highest real estate values in the entire world. One of the, you know, 3 most expensive places. You want to buy a place, it starts at $1 million in Vancouver. That's the average home now. So you have to be a millionaire to buy a $1 million home, essentially. And yet they're selling like crazy. So, and up until recently, and there's a slump. But the point being that it's hard to exist, and we have to find a way for our livelihood. And either we have to work at a separate job in order to maintain our business with the Keshe Foundation, with the ethos and so on, and only sell the products that the Keshe Foundation offers, or other products that are innocuous and don't have anything to do with health or you know, other things that could interfere with the local authorities wanting to have all kinds of tests done and that kind of thing. So but we're in a sort of a gray area right now too, where there's people like yourself in the world who want to start a business and present these plasma products. And at the same time, they can't use the Keshe Foundation logo unless they're an accredited distributor and only distributing the Keshe Foundation products or other products that are approved and so on. And if the products aren't approved, then you can't use the Keshe Foundation logo, because the Keshe Foundation does not want to be associated at this point in time with Mr. Keshe. Has a lot of irons in the fire, a lot of business deals going on all over the world. And it's not for us to jeopardize those businesses by offering certain things that might be fine in our country, but not acceptable in other countries of the world. And therefore, Mr. Keshe goes, whoa, we can't sell these. This is going to interfere with our, you know, Chinese business or our African business or our American business or whatever it is. And he knows what's going on. And believe me, 99% of us associated with any part of the Keshe Foundation or knowledge seekers don't know the full picture of what's going on. And so we may think that we're doing a great service, but from his point of view, we're doing a disservice because of just a couple of products we have that are offending the you know, certain other governments of the world, and jeopardizing his all the work he's been doing for, in some cases, years to get these deals set up. And there's a lot going on right now behind the scenes that, you know, that we don't know about. So that's why it has to go slowly through the Keshe Foundation, and they're doing the best they can. They're under a lot of stress right now, and a lot of things going on, that they're trying to do everything all at once, and there's not enough manpower, and it's a very difficult time right now. So we have to be patient is one thing, and we have to try to work with the Keshe Foundation. And I'm talking about we in terms of someone like yourself, or from that position, you know, trying to make a living and be of service, basically. And how can we do that within the ethos of the Keshe Foundation and make everybody happy, make Mr. Keshe happy, the management of the Keshe Foundation, the the other distributors, the other people around you, your community, the government on all the levels, municipal, provincial, and federal. They all have to be satisfied. And we're in a brand new technological area, this plasma technology, which to most of those agencies and most of society, they don't have a clue what this is even about. So we have to educate at the same time as present the products and so on. And as you know, and you do such a fine job of trying to educate and bring together the technology, the theory, and the practical all at once, and offer people, you know, free alternatives or do-it-yourself alternatives at the same time. So, you know, I appreciate the great service that you do for all knowledge seekers that way. And, you know, I think there's also there's somewhat of a separation or whatever between the work of the Keshe Foundation as a entity, and then the greater work of bringing the knowledge or the teaching, you might say, that Mr. Keshe represents, this interaction with the universal community and so on, into being, into fruition. And that happens through all kinds of avenues, all kinds of influences all over the planet, and not necessarily directly through the Keshe Foundation. So,
Yeah.
I've been yapping
Thank you
away
very much, Rick.
a lot here, but I'm just trying to give some reference, you know. Go ahead, Sarah.
It is very good what you told me, because you know, before you told me all that, I was more inside the box, and I would see more, oh, this doesn't work, that doesn't work. But now I have more of the bigger picture, and I know why it is like it is, even with the certification and this blah, 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 blah. And the keywords from the keyword you gave me is patience. And I think when you said the word patience, joy came up. So I'm now thinking, it's good I put out the wish. There is no pressure behind the wish. The wish is already there, because I can only express a wish of something which is already fulfilled. I cannot otherwise have the idea even. And then patience is a very natural accompaniment to that, because I go on and I do whatever I can in an easy and joyful way. And we will see how everything comes to fruition.
Yes, I'm glad you picked up on the patience, and that goes for you know, on our immediate basis and just in our interactions and dealing on a daily basis, and it could extend into, in some cases, years of patience. I know for example, the Canadian manufacturing has been waiting for quite some time, literally years. And we just keep saying, be patient. And this is true for many parts of the world. They need to be patient when the time is right. And the other parts of the world are brought forward to make everything sort of evened out, you might say, when this transition, when the major transitions occur, when, for example, new sources of power or new sources of travel in space and these kinds of major milestones, they need to be for everybody, not just for the developed countries or not just for the undeveloped countries. Because as we noticed in our wishes last week and the week before, and wishing for certain nations to have an advantage, you might say, or to have peace and then just say in certain nations, then we're negating, well, what about the US in one case? We forgot about the US when we were talking about all these other countries and so on having trouble and blah, blah, blah. And yet in the US, there's lots of issues, lots of trouble, and lots of, it's not all roses, roses, roses there. Yes?
Hi, Rick. Jalal here.
Yes, that's right.
Jalal, go ahead, Jalal.
Hello, everyone. And this brings the question, do the UC Council study it, the structure, what is coming? Did he structure something for what is coming in the future?
Study what structure? We've already got so many things that we've been revealed to us about the Ganses, the nano, all the different technologies. What possibly more could be coming? We've talked about the interaction with the universal community and all of that. Or do you mean disasters and that kind of thing, or interactions with the universal community, or what do you mean by what's coming?
Interaction with our communities. What is the structure will be in the present future? What's coming? Now we are going to the international, and from that point, what is the structure will be? Is it the same thing, or there is some plan in the new future?
What do you mean, Jalal? More specific?
There is no something specific, but what I mean, we are coming to international public knowledge. That means the public will open up to the Keshe Foundation. The UC members or the UC Council, did he take this in his account? What he can do in that time, in that place? Or it will be still like this, what we have?
I cannot follow you exactly what you want to know, Jalal. Because the Keshe Foundation is the overall structure, like, how can I say? You got to understand how Mr. Keshe has created everything. For what purpose to serve where? Pardon. Pardon. The whole structure is there that everything will serve the totality. So there is no separation, that's number one. The alignment goes in different layers. The core team, as we all know, as Mr. Keshe has explained, is completely working on soul level support. Nothing to do with the physicality, although they are physical present in a lot of teachings. The Earth Council it has to do with everything with the humanity worldwide. That's why you have seen that the Earth Council has signed after we signed. So each one takes his own part or section of this planet. Pardon. Then you have the Universal Council, which is working Universal Council. So the wording of the naming of the group's core team works on the totality on soul level. Earth Council stands for everything to do with humanity. UC, Universal Council, stands for to bring the alignment of the planet, humanity, with the universal community. So that is again working on soul level. What we have shown as an example, I keep on taking the best examples because they're all fresh in your mind, although we have already created what, hundreds of wishes, is when the Universal Council members stood up, Paul Yatut, to ask and request support from the foundation and from the knowledge seekers and from the council to create peace in Togo. You have seen the working of the Universal Council as a team in combination with the knowledge seekers, with combination of the Keshe Foundation and Mr. Keshe and the core team. The wish was created and the peace was established. So Mr. Keshe intervened, the core team was aware of it, the Earth Council was aware of it, the Universal Council was aware of it, the knowledge seekers were aware of it, and then the Keshe Foundation as a structure has supplied the support for that peace to be established in Togo. So we all have worked together as a unity to serve peace. So the Earth Council is going into working in the matter state affairs of this planet. Universal Council is continuously working on the level which is like today, the interaction with the public platform, to bring partially knowledge, partially opening up the understanding of the charter, the understanding of the council, the understanding of the Earth Council, the core team, so people can interact with everyone to ask questions. Then sometimes Mr. Keshe comes in with requests to step up on certain levels, and funny and beautiful enough, you all achieve those levels. Things starts moving. You get the response. Why? Because you release the energy on soul level, not on matter state. You're not working that you get up and you go to Togo to stand there and request peace. Or you don't get a flight and you go to interact with whatever the problem is there. You stayed exactly where you are and you worked on soul level, creating the field of the direction of the wish of the Universal Council from Togo. That is the main understanding of the working of the Universal Council. To make sure equality and peace is established here on this planet. And we all have learned that working through the soul, we get instant result. It starts the process immediately. We don't need to wait to get our ticket to fly to the place to sort the problem out, because that is not our function. That is the part of the Earth Council taking care of. They intervene with the governments, they intervene wherever it's, and we are supporting on soul level the whole structure, and vice versa from the core team. The minute there is a wish released, they are there with their support on soul level, which works instant. We do write an overview like the charter, which we all went through. And then we explain all the other aspects which Mr. Keshe has brought in, which has brought in our understanding. And now the Universal Council is working on a new charter, which is the mandate, which that's how we see to work through soul level to achieve the beauty of what you want to create, which is peace. And the beautiful thing is that you already have it right in front of you, because the wish list, which we have started working the day and the time when we signed the World Peace Treaty and all the countries into the World Peace Treaty, is that you are creating in different parts, in different elements, in different situations, you create a peaceful environment. And that is purely working on soul level. So the minimum of literally putting it in writing is because you work much faster on soul level, although we still work it out and give you a guidance in writing, where then new people which are coming in and have no clue what this is all about, they can find their way and their soul can understand what is written down. Does that answer your question, Jalal?
Yes, Caroline, thank you.
And I forgot one thing, and that is that the Universal Council support members are coming up, and more people are coming in to support the Universal Council members in their language, to work and to inform and teach the new knowledge seekers or the knowledge seekers which are present in more understanding what path to follow. So they take the structural function to work in their, how do you call it? In their community. So if you're Spanish or Arabic speaking, you will have a support member helping you to reach your communities, to inform them, to guide them, or to create a wish for them. Because the main option of Mr. Keshe is for, let's say, you take a Chinese Universal Council member, let's say Mandarin. I'll just give you one example, but that counts for each language on this planet, is that the totality of the Mandarin speaking people on this planet, no matter where they are, that they learn to support their council member through giving, to create what they need, that it can reverse to them in a peaceful way. That's the whole learning process for people to learn to support their council members so that they can establish their wishes, they can establish peace where they want by supporting that member. That member can then go to the universal community, which is existing of so many more languages, and then we share the wish which came, let's say, from the Mandarin knowledge seeker or from public, for that wish to be established. So then you create the whole field strength, which then manifests that for whatever is being requested. And that gives you a rough idea, the option why Mr. Keshe has put this in that kind of position is for humanity to learn to give for the purpose to serve. Because that way of giving to serve then returns back to whoever put the request through to that Universal Council member. Just exactly the same way as it happened with Togo. Any questions?
Yes, how would people get in contact if they feel so moved to be part of the structure of either the Universal Council or the Earth Council, or they want to be like a support member of Universal Council for a certain language, that kind of thing, how can they make contact in order to have that come about, I guess?
I think Flint has all the contact emails and he can post them on public or in the chat rooms so people can find their way if they feel that they can serve no matter for what purpose they want and where they want to serve. That's the whole, what Mr. Keshe is aiming for, that we no longer only serve ourselves or a few, but that we go for the totality. And the best example I can use for that is when he did the blueprint of the Maghreb teaching, before the blueprint started, he said, give your first unit away before you make your own unit. And the principle behind that was to learn to give freely, to support. And that was the beauty behind it. And this is what the knowledge seekers have learned and have understood. And this is what this gentleman just previous brought on the table. I serve, but I need to survive. We understand, we support wherever we can, but we are still living in a matter state on this planet, and we have to obey by the rules in each country, not only to protect you, but also to protect the people which will come in touch with what you create. And then again, the foundation needs to protect it as well. So it's not one way, it's a protection for everyone, because there are people which are making Ganses still not in the perfect right way. Sign yourself up through distribution, manufacturing, or as a teacher, certify yourself that you can become part of the totality of the Keshe Foundation. You can provide your products to the Keshe Foundation. They will go through them. They will analyze how you create them. And then there is a room in creating for knowledge seekers to be able to bring their products on the foundation. No problem. But it's at this moment a slow process because the Keshe Foundation is literally overwhelmed with work. As Rick said, we have hands short. We are calling upon volunteers in all directions. We welcome you more than you can even imagine. We need transcribers, we need translators, we need editors. We need so many people to support on a voluntary basis because the Keshe Foundation is just overflown with so much work. Once the Keshe Foundation sees that your work is there and you're solid, and as Rick and so many knowledge seekers and Mr. Keshe himself has explained so many times, we have gone through ups and downs, but we stay solid because we are getting tested. How solid are we to stay? And that's the beauty. It's not all honey and beauty. Sometimes we go to hard times, but we all have to work together, and there is always a platform. There's always a listening ear. If it goes rough, you can sit and you can talk. We are working it out. We are developing all the sides, but it takes time. It's structuring, it's growing pain. It's new, it's never been done before. And anyone who has specific skills in computer, in teaching, in knowing the knowledge, please come on board and share your knowledge. You're more than welcome.
Now, I just wanted to show the, at the bottom of the Universal Council page here, there is a form, how to support the Universal Council. It says, if you have an inner calling to serve humanity and want to join us to represent a nation in the council, you can become a member of the council for the languages that do not currently have a representative. So this contact form is specifically for becoming a Universal Council representative for a particular language. I'm assuming that that same form can be used for the Universal Council support members as well.
Yes, that's correct. You can
Okay, well, we should
just write in
change
the message area there what you would wish to do, whether you become a council member or a supporter or whatever.
Right. Well, that should be actually in the title as well, because it's sort of saying its own. I think the form originally was just for the actual language representative. We didn't have the support members then, I think. But yes, okay, so that's great. There's the form there. Now, as far as other people, like Carolina was just saying, other types of help for the Keshe Foundation, you can go to the main website and then scroll down and go to the Support Center and click on Support Center. And then you can visit the different aspects of the Support Center, such as the customer service area, manufacturer support, distributor, etc. And so at the bottom is the Volunteer and Human Resources Support Center. If you click on that and go there, and you have some questions that are answered and so on.
You need to reshare that screen there. We don't see the new.
Oh, I'm sorry. Something didn't work there either. There we go, I think. Let me just, where was I here? Okay, so so this is the Support Center, and when you click on the Support Center options, the one at the bottom is the Volunteer and Human Resource Support Center. And you click on the Go button there, and it takes you to the Human Resources page. It has some FAQ answers, and it has, you can submit a question if you just want to put a question in. But there's what's called the Expertise Contribution Form. If you have skills you'd like to share with the Keshe Foundation, please let us know. And you just click there, and there's a form that comes up, and you can fill in the form. That way you get into the database, and your name is under certain types of expertise. And if the Keshe Foundation needs help in those areas, then they look at those, the people that have put down those particular areas in their contribution form. So you may not be contacted immediately, but when the skills are necessary, that's when they would tend to call. There's also a general contact form and a support ticket as well. But I wanted to point out that expertise contribution form for people that want to share their skills, and that could be for anything from doing the transcribing through to helping organize, perhaps working on the websites or Wikipedia and that kind of thing. What else can we say about people that want to help out? There is a question here in the chat, or a comment rather, from, see if I can find it again here. from Nikolai. He says, as a fellow Canadian, also from and living in the Vancouver area, how could I be of assistance to help my fellow Keshe Foundation knowledge seekers and or the Keshe Foundation management folks to help? So again, first you have to get into the database and make your presence known to the management that way. And to do that, fill out the form, the expertise contribution form, which again is found under the Human and Volunteer and Human Resources Support Center, which is found in the main support center of the Keshe Foundation. Okay, I hope that's somewhat clear. And that's a pathway for those to get signed up to begin to help to be of service to the Keshe Foundation. It's one way at least. There's other avenues as well, I guess. Okay, anything else about that or any other questions about that part? Maybe we could go back to Avaram's wish here.
Stefania's here.
Okay, good. I just want to mention that I did modify the Avaram's wish a little bit. Upon the wish of Gatawa, who's always in our English editor in a way, he suggested to put in within the Keshe Foundation ethos rather than the motto, because it's actually the ethos that we're working with, not just the motto, which is the motto is the same, but the ethos is the actual thing itself, you could say. So the total wish is, I wish that the Keshe Foundation, the UC, and the EC trust, support, and help all the knowledge seekers who are working on their own within the Keshe Foundation ethos. We are here to serve and not to be served. Okay, I am fully present for that message.
I am present.
I am present.
I am present.
Great, and I hope that satisfies Avaram for now at least, and with the main word that patience is a true virtue in this situation. And I think once that patience pays off, then we'll have more than enough busyness to keep us all busy and employed, and have the affluence as well as the service to others. So this is the balance that needs to be achieved.
Yes, I think that's very important, because this whole shift from technology to soul actually asks what I feel the biggest challenge for all of us is, I think, the trust that we, that as the soul teachings try to tell us that everything will be all right, just work on the soul level, trust and do it, and do not look at negative sides, do not create resistance against what you really want. And that is not so easy for us, but when we have discussions like right now, it makes it a lot easier for me at least.
Right on. Thank you for bringing this up, Avaram. And we have a long list of people that are saying I am present in the chats. Thank you. Okay, is there anything that we might have missed about that topic of supporting and how we can get into that, into the program of helping support the Keshe Foundation in ways other than a monetary donation, which of course that is very welcome if people have a great deal of money and you'd like to unload a large part of that great deal. That would be a really good deal. And I don't like to ask the people that don't have a lot of money to donate because they don't have a lot of money, first of all, and they're the ones that are quite willing to donate even their last few dollars. And that's, unfortunately, those are the ones that seem to have to be closer to their soul than the ones that have deep pockets. But I'm sure there's some out there that are very well off that are thinking, where can I donate some money that will make an effective difference in the world and help people on a deeper basis than just helping from a disaster perhaps, or some other charity that, lots of them in the world, many thousands of charities that to donate to. Why donate to the Keshe Foundation? Well, it's working on, as Carolina mentioned earlier, we work on a deep basis on many different levels and on many different areas at the same time. So it's not only on soul level, physicality level, nano, GANs, plasma, and all of that, but on virtually all parts of the planet, all languages, all cultures, all areas of the planet. I don't know of anywhere that's not been touched by the Keshe teachings. No matter where, they've all been exposed and have people that have come forward out of the blue from virtually every country of the world that I can imagine. I don't know of any other organization that's so in depth and at the same time has the breadth of being all over. It's a very interesting combination, and yes, large donations could help to bring that presence a little faster onto the planet. It's inevitable one way or another, but the transition might be a little smoother and enjoyable for all concerned if there was more finances to enable the projects and the people and so on to all work smoothly together with each other and to create new structures and new opportunities. Okay, well, let's carry on. Peggy put in the donation link. Thank you, Peggy, for your constantly keeping us updated with the links.
I'm gonna bring you a wish. Just give me 1 second, please, Rick.
Okay.
I have to be careful with, I cannot put a link with it. Oh, thanks God, I just remembered. I'm gonna put it here in the chat, Rick, or Flint, you can pick it up. If you can bring it on the wish list. Flint, have you added the wishes from the Universal Council, which went public, onto the wish list already? Or
I haven't, not yet, but I have them lined up to do so.
Can you get them, or do you want me to go and get them?
I can get them there.
Okay, thanks. And I am present in your wish, Aviram.
Thank you, Carolina.
It will all sort itself out. It's just time. And I'm gonna pass you another one, Rick, in the chat. Another wish. I'm gonna send the rest, Flint, to you in your Telegram. Because I cannot transfer it to...
Okay.
And the text is underneath again, so that you know what it's about. And this is beautiful. People start learning to find their way, how to create wishes, and for what purpose they will serve. Once people found their way, how to create a wish, you got them?
Yes, we have those on the wish list now, the last two. Do you want me to read them? Or do you want to read them? Hello? Not able to hear you, Carolina, if you're speaking. I'm still not able to hear Carolina. Oops. She had to drop out. Okay, she'll be back shortly, I'm sure.
I'm sorry, I kicked myself out.
Okay. Wonder what happened there. You got quiet.
I just saw myself disappearing. In the post, passing the text on, I just eliminated myself. I do apologize.
Well, you're good at recreating yourself now, so no problem.
Yeah, that's
so,
good.
I was asking whether I should read these or do you wish to, and then it went silent.
Okay. If you can increase your size of the letters, I don't mind reading them. Because it's very small for me to read. This size of letters is very petite. If you don't mind.
Let me see if I can do it differently here. Oh, it's not working. Okay, there we go. It's as far as I can take it.
I can increase them a little bit.
Can you see that? That seems to be as big as it gets.
It's okay. I am going to have to use 2 reading glasses. Double on top of one of the other. Okay.
There must be a way of making it bigger. Maybe I have to select it first and then. This is a little bigger.
It works. Thank you, Rick. I wish you all remember Nikki, the girl who brought the song. That was so beautiful, and we all listened to it.
Yes, indeed.
Yes. I created this wish. As we know, a lot of teenagers have and are going through difficult times. So I thought this was maybe one of the ways I could support her soul and her traveling in this lifetime. I wish Nikki a beautiful and extraordinary girl in peace, love, and gratitude, gifted and kindness, serving with her songs and music so many people in utter beauty. And I signed at that time, Caroline Kesch, UC, Universal Council Member, Netherlands, April the 2nd, 2019. I am present. This beautiful girl is struggling at this moment. So I thought I put her in the position of the field strength, which in what she loves to do is creating music and to find peace with herself in not giving up, being so creative in such a beautiful way. And then the second one, yes, Rick?
I am present in that wish.
I am present.
Yes, I am present.
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 Okay, if you want to carry on, Caroline, to...
This second one, I just, pardon, I just received it. You all remember Ketan Katur, which created the wish to support Kashmir, and we created a wish for that. And apparently his dad has recently passed away. and the wishes our family is going through rough times because my father has passed away. Please ask Mr. Kish and councils to give from their soul to my father's soul so he will go through peaceful transformation in dimensions of soul. Regards, Ketan Katur, April the 2nd. And I said, I am present.
A nice wish. I am present.
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 Thank you very much. I would love to create a wish, Rick, for all the knowledge seekers. And I mean, literally all the knowledge seekers which are connected to the foundation, which are working so hard to encourage them in their beauty that they are serving humanity for world peace. If you can create that wish for me, please, or from us, would be even nicer.
Sorry, how does that go again? Caroline, do you want me to write it down now, you mean?
I think we all will agree that the wish can be written. We wish to support all the knowledge seekers in acknowledgement of their beauty, serving for world peace.
Is that the way it goes? We wish to support all the knowledge acknowledgement in their beauty, serving for world peace.
Whoever has any suggestions, please add to the wish.
Hi, it's Ursula. I wrote something down about Oasis supporters, and I hope this can be a beautiful wish also for all those who are starting Oasis. It's a huge work, and I have the chance to have at mine, not mine in France, it's ours, it's for everybody, to have an expertise with Gianni. I'm so grateful about that, and we are starting right, and we need more arms and hands and souls and to be here. It's a huge work, beautiful work, easy work, but need to be done with more. So I'm very grateful if me and others, of course, because all those who want to start Oasis must first learn and have somebody who has expertise to help and so. So could be nice to have more hands here. Thank you.
Yeah, if you can bring the wish forward, Rick. Maybe it can go underneath and see how we can blend it in.
Okay, sorry, you'll have to repeat that again.
You have the wish in the chat room. If you can copy paste it. And
Oh,
see
from
maybe,
Ursula. Okay.
yeah, maybe we can blend it in. Because in so many ways, all the knowledge seekers which are working with the knowledge, doesn't matter if you produce GANs or not, you are creating an oasis condition by you, who you are and what you do and what you dedicate towards the foundation and the cause of creating this peace. You are all carrying an oasis condition. So that's why I said maybe this wish can be blended together. I think we can adjust your wish, Ursula, in starting or in start up of the oasis. We are receiving support and extra knowledge seekers we are receiving support and knowledge seekers in establishing the place in establishing the place.
You want this taken out?
No, not yet, not yet. I'm still playing with the information. So
okay.
I wish and remove the that. I wish in starting Oasis, let's call it the Oasis Center, because then it has a title. Oasis Center. I wish in starting the Oasis Center, we are receiving support and knowledge seekers from all language communities just 1 second. In applying their expertise we can create worldwide, we establish worldwide one oasis. One oasis.
One oasis rather than one world oasis?
Yeah, because we already have worldwide. So in wishing, I wish in starting the Oasis Center, we are receiving support and knowledge seekers from all language communities In applying their expertise, we establish worldwide one oasis. What do you think, Ursula? Or do you want to add something else to it? Because I converted your wish that you already received.
Yes, of course. It's very beautiful, Carolina. I like it very much. Thank you.
Rick, any ideas or any other knowledge seeker?
The only thing I'm having an issue with is the center, starting the Oasis Center. Is that a particular location, or are we starting the more like the Oasis condition in various places?
That's up to Ursula, because I do not know.
Yes.
She's creating.
Yes, condition is I prefer, because it's really a condition inside and outside, and I guess everybody will have his own expertise and all experiences, and we can share it together. So it's really a condition more than a center. Center is closed, and condition is open.
That's why I'm asking to add to the wish that it can be complete.
Yes, and also this part to help others because there's Fernando writing, he wants also an oasis, and there are many others as Peggy and so many others who want oasis, who dream with it. So that this expertise, like I have today with Gianni, he will stay here 2 months and then return back. So I must be ready to be autonomous and get it and can help others also, so that we can all go here and there to start others, because this expertise we get, it's so beautiful and really it's so easy. It's much work, of course. We have much to learn, and many do it otherwise. And I was reading what Tom Salas was writing also, with the tears and the blood, and everybody make it his way. So it's okay, and his own expertise in the place he's living, with the condition and the possibilities, financial and temperature and all this is all different. So this expertise we get, why I will get now 2 months with all what I learned before and all what we are learning every day, with so many other beautiful aims, and we can go there to others who want to start and help them, because with this place where I'm living now, so a beautiful place in the Provence, from France, if with 7,200 square meters, it's a really big place. I have been alone here for 1 month, and I was wondering how I will do this, because alone it's impossible. I get many, of course, I wrote many things, and I read many things, and I was learning, but I was unable to start, from something. I could do it maybe, but I don't feel secure enough. So I'm so grateful that Gianni comes here. And I was so grateful also that he speaks very well Spanish. So we integrate them in our Spanish group.
Can I ask you something? Can I suggest you for something?
Yes, of course.
As Gianni has done a previous presentation, and Mr. Kesh was present on Tuesday platform, may I suggest to maybe you have 1 week time to maybe prepare a presentation, how you start, what your work is, what the beauty is of, and what is an oasis condition at your place while you have everyone there, and video and explain, and maybe if you can extract a half an hour or an hour presentation and come back next week, Tuesday, please.
Yes, of course. It's we expect to do is now we make many videos, many. We wanted to do so many things others, but you know, it's we cannot start everything together. They came with so much seeds and plants and trees and okay, we must clean up this place. My son has been there also. He get hurt in his work, so he's staying here 2 weeks. It's beautiful a condition for him to learn many things. So it's beautiful what is happening, and it's magic. So of course we will do many videos and also. Sorry.
I said, can we expect a presentation from you and the team next week, please?
Yes, of course you can, with a pleasure. We have started yesterday in the Spanish teaching. We have agriculture on Monday, so we get many information, and we will do it, of course, and we wanted also to do in plasma times an article, so many things, and now we will have 2 days raining, so we can work inside more than outside. They are all working outside. We have planned so many things yesterday, and wow, it's just amazing. And the chance is that this land here, it was not treated, was not worked out for more than 3 years, much more, I think. It's a big piece of land, so it's free, you know, it's virgin. Not at all, but it's clean. So we are doing all what we learned and all what Gianni has done, all right, in his own 2 oases in Romania. So he will go there then, and he has much work also with schools, and we know many persons here also, one who wants to start a school and another who has a shop with organic food and who want to learn and come here. So you know, the conditions to spread this knowledge around seems to be easier than I thought. So I'm very happy because it's going very quickly, and now we need a little bit more hands and workers.
Can you tell us again where the location is roughly?
Yes, and it's close to Avignon. Avignon, it's 20 kilometers from Avignon. It is south center of France. Close 20 kilometers from Avignon and 5 from Orange. It's the department of Vaucluse. Vaucluse, I will write it down, and I can give you more information, of course.
Well, I was going to ask, how can people that are moved to help and would like to participate, how can they get in contact with you, or what's the best way to go about that? Should they fill in a form in the support center, or?
I don't know. We can do something. What you propose to me, I can give.
I think
just have them email you at your uc.spanish@theearthcouncil.org.
Yes, of course. And to those who have not money to stay there, it's not problem. I have 3 tents. They can stay here free. It's like woofing. Yes, woofing is people who are feeded and can sleep there, and but in exchange can work. So work and learn, of course, because the most important is to learn, because the idea is that they can do it then in their own place and teach others. This is why this wish I wanted to be completed what I was writing, if you are okay with this. To can support to start others around the world to complete the plasma patchwork. I hear this from Mr. Keshe somewhere, the patchwork. I like this. And so a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit, and then okay, we will complete it all, the whole, and so start one oasis wild world. This idea I want to share, because
can I suggest something?
Yes, of course, Aviram.
Maybe you add in applying their expertise also resources.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Because expertise is what we know how to do, how we can help actively or by communicating, and resources can also be that people can donate, people can, you know, like Gianni, who brought seeds and trees.
Yes, and rent a car also. And also donation, of course, because needs to have materials. Also, we are doing many coils and many things like you showed me, Carolina. I was so happy the aid, you know, the we would do on the telephone and all these things so beautiful, so easy to do and too easy to show. And I have appointment with I don't remember Rick, I said major, but it's not the major. Major is military. It's the government of the land here. So I
The
have
mayor, it's
yeah,
called.
I will yes, as in France, le maire.
Yeah.
So I met him occasionally. I said it all right, and I present me. I thought the Mary was closed, and I said, "Oh, I'm new here. I'm sorry." And he, "Oh, it's nice." I present me. I'm the Mary male. So okay, we was talking about plasma and all kind of things, and my profession as naturopath. Less than 1 hour, and he asked me to to come and accept the appointment he gave me on the 5th. So I'm very happy because I feel that he understood, and he is also conseiller régional. Can be very interesting. So I'm very happy about this possibility. So we are cleaning here, so we will invite him and make a open day so that the people can come and see. And okay, I trust in what will be happen here. So all this gift that universe give to me is not for nothing. It's for do something beautiful, and I trust. And I start in reading also to trust in me, because for 5 years or 4 years I was talking about this, and I did not get, the results. It's not a result, the response, the support from friends and for families, and now my son is here but because he hurts himself, and I think even that is not a it's not a casualty. It's because he must be here now to learn this and spread out with his friends. He's working as carpenter in the Compagnon du Devoir. I don't know how to translate this. They are working together and living together, and also traveling now 3 years around France. It's a Tour de France, like the bicycle, but it's workers learned to make houses, and also he was contacting me from Australia when he was there 2 years to inform me that it was in Rome the first, when you give up to all the governments the first magravs, and he asked me to hear to this. So it's thanks to him that I has been present. So it's beautiful what is happening here, and I know something is going on very strong, and we must be all ready to learn and integrate and to share. To share is the most important. Even if you don't understand it all. I know many people who knows much more than me, but I feel it. Even if I cannot explain it all so good as so many, but I feel it, and I love to pull up others, who can teach, and we are here for there to help others to become teachers or become whatever he want to be, to help them to have courage in themselves and be proud of what they are doing, even if they don't know many things, but to share this little thing they know, and then to help to plug into the foundation, because they're all there. They don't need to teach it all, but we have teaching everywhere in every language, and we learn all together. And this is the beautiful of this, and free.
Thank you very much.
You mentioned the woofers, and I have some experience with that. I have a friend that's an organic gardener, and she maintains, she grows garden vegetables and other things on her farm. And she has these woofers that come in as helpers. They're basically farm helpers. And like you say, they get to stay on the farm in a trailer or a tent or whatever, and they get their food and their necessities covered. But they work, and they work hard on the farm to produce the products. And they learn as they go, and they donate their time. And these people will be from all over the world. They could be from Guatemala, or they could be from Peru or somewhere, or wherever, all over the world. And they show up basically, and it's they're coming, and it's done through email and through internet these days, and it's set up, and they show up, and they work for anywhere from a few days to weeks or even months at a time, and really get to know the farmer. The farmer gets to know them, and it's usually a very positive experience. And this could be a sort of a new model for the plasma technology in a way. And these people can be traveling all over the world and be invited to farms and invited to communities to present their knowledge and to educate the farmers and have the farmers educate them at the same time, sort of an interactive participation. And then they go on to the next farm. It could be another local one, or one across on the other side of the planet. Because these people, the woofers,
Yes, it's nice also
tend to like to go to experience different places. Yeah. So it could be a good model of what you're setting up there, and it could be a way of you educate people there and then send them off to the next challenge halfway around the world. It's great.
Of course, it's a very beautiful idea, and I was thinking about this because my son has been in Australia first as woofer, and 1 month, and they get work and very easily. So, but this is another case, and I can here will come now the hot time here, so even in a tent will be beautiful. It's a beautiful place. It's the hottest place in France, so. And I have also the canal of Carpentras going through my land. We have water, we have everything. So, and we put also we convert the puits, where we got water from the earth to 2.5 meters, and we converted this puits, this fountain with plasma. We put. Johnny put inside the four, other four, the basic one, inside. So we have plasma water everywhere. And I have also a purifying filter who one of the knowledge seekers made with plasma also. He put on. Everything is going on. So, and we just started. It's much more to do. And of course, if some can come now, because it's when we are starting that they should come. I was thinking about young people. We have 2 boys, it's a cousin of Johnny and also my son here, 23 and 24 years. They are so happy to work and do something and learn, and they will make calls and everything. It's the moment to have young people, because I learned also that they are more easy to be taught. So, and they are free then to go here and there and follow their travel to other starting oases with their expertise. Could be a nice, yes, we can add maybe this on the wish. Is really a deep wish I have, that young people can believe and can learn free. Of course, most of them have not money, but they don't need to have money. Here we will feed I don't know how many people here. We have enough to drink and to eat. So, and all what we are doing here with all the seeds coming out and then there can be a tent. So and learn. We have done the laboratory in the living room first, so we can hear the knowledge seekers and others and the teachings and all the Zooms and all what we are always hearing and learning and sharing and applying all what we are learning, of course. And it's just amazing. And I wish that many of these oases can start everywhere, so that we can very, very fast go further and meet the universal community is waiting for us to evolve. And thank you for all what you are doing all together. We are all one. So just apply and we will thrive very far. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ursula. You can also, on the social networks, in the Universal Council chat rooms on Facebook, find your way towards Ursula and her Oasis condition. Also, there you can receive more information, how to apply, how to make, how to create, how to get in touch with the Keshe Foundation. We are all knowledge seekers already there for quite a while. So for anyone who has any more questions or new people which are walking in, just put the request through on Facebook or Messenger and let us know what you want, and then we can add you to the groups, and then you can share and be showered with all the knowledge. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carolina, because all this is thanks to you and the foundation. And this is a dream for me, because I was wishing this for so long, since I was very young, to do something important for the universe and for the world. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody, any questions, please? If nobody has
we had.
Yes.
Well, we had a question in the Q&A from Dean, and it's in regards to, well, I'll just read it. He says, I need a 2 to 4 page proposal for funding of factory. I'll be in meetings the next 2 days, and I would like to schedule a time for a conference call with the funding source so we can start building in the United States of America and Moravia, African. And he left his email address. I suggested that he go through the Manufacturing Support Center and fill out the form there, and suggested that.
Rick.
Mm-hmm.
Send this email to and forward, or send it to my private link. We get it checked, we respond back.
Okay, sure.
Okay. There is a lot of people offering these things, but they don't have the way to do it. We look at it, we let them know.
Okay, very good. So it's just to your private email that you want it sent to, right?
And through the secure line, usual way.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, Mr. Kesh. Welcome to join us today. Do you have any information you want to share with us? Hello, Mr. Kesh.
I'm just a listener today. I've got a lot to do. I'm just listening, doing a lot of work. I'm not here, just present by soul.
Thank you very much. Anybody, any sharing or knowledge to or ideas that you can bring forward? Or does anyone has any wishes?
Stefania is here from earlier, the discussion we had.
Who?
Stefania is here from discussion earlier.
Oh, you want to go back to the blue eyes?
And we did have Walja had his hand up as well earlier. And I think we had another one.
Did he put his question through?
I think he just had his hand up, so, and Dean as well, but he had his, I think he had his question answered, but he might want to say something. So I'll allow Dean to talk, and Walda, if you want to go ahead. Hello, it's Walda Manyabi Gujerbi. Can you go ahead? Do you have a question? You'll have to unmute. Okay, apparently not at this point. Dean, do you need to speak?
I don't need to speak, but I will just say I am present, and my wish has already been put out there, and peace, and love and grace. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dean. I've forwarded that to Mr. Kesh so he can sort it out with you and through email. Okay, we have Dan. Do you want to go ahead there, Dan?
Yes, thank you, Rick. Thank you, Mr. Senior Carolina. I have a question. I'm making translating in live what is the about here. I ask, I put in this little translation, yes, in only in the group of my country, or it's needed posting in another place for helping. I don't know. It's needed transcribe in words, white black from white, or it's enough only translating.
Maybe Flint could answer that.
Okay, thank you very much.
Flint, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
What do you think? So what Dan's saying, I believe what he's saying is he's doing a verbal translation of, for example, this workshop or some workshop. And that goes to normally just to his community, but should it be spread in other ways? And do you need a direct black and white word transcription?
Is he doing a simulcast? Or dubbing?
Are you doing it live right now, Dan?
Yes.
Or
yes.
So and it's being
Always.
broadcast to another
I
source.
transmit in live in, like I say, my page and spreading in Facebook what it's about in this workshop.
In Romanian, right?
Yes,
Romanian?
it's in live. What who's speaking Romanian, understanding what's about here. But
I
my
see.
question is needed from writing, because for me it's very easy speaking in same time. No, not in same time. It's I'm not reading very well in English, but with a little help from I don't know, Google Translate, perhaps it's more. I spend more time for translating, not translating, for talking, for saying. It's better for me, but I don't know it's better for the others. Is needed transcribing black and white for like a subtitle.
Yeah, that's best in terms of, like, usually we start with the the English subtitles, and once the English subtitles are done, you can do the language subtitles from them rather than direct language translation. That's the way it's usually done. But there might be a way of, since you're already doing the language translation, maybe you could take the language, Romanian language, and have it written down, or have it even automatically written down with a language program. And then that could be attached as the language transcript that goes with the original English, and it could be put on, for example, a YouTube video could have the subtitles then in Romanian. But the language itself is very useful. We can't attach it to the regular videos as subtitles or anything.
The Spanish are doing something very similar, but only for the Knowledge Seekers workshops, of doing Spanish simulcasting live. If you have the ability to listen in English and speak Romanian at the same time, you can listen on one device and then broadcast into the public Romanian room that's available in Zoom here. And those that want to listen, those that want to listen in the Romanian, just log into the public Romanian room, and that's recorded. And then when that's done, that can be put out on our YouTube channel.
I understand. I already there from platform of like I say Facebook. No, when it's ending this meeting, I wrap my transmission and spread it in all the language.
But if you use the public Zoom room that we already have for Romanian, that's automatically recorded into the cloud, into our system, and then we can put that on our YouTube channel and make it official.
Okay, I understand.
And I can get with you on the details how to do all that in the back or at another time here.
Okay, so for non-spreading this perfect time. Okay, thank you very much for the hint.
Yes, you're welcome.
Okay, that's a good solution. Thank you, Flint.
Yes, very welcome.
Anybody else? And thank you for stepping forward, for translating instantaneously. And we will work something out that it can be recorded and kept for the purpose of so many others who want to go back to the recording. It's happening already for quite a while also in the Spanish. And more languages are more than welcome. That's what we asked volunteers for. You support not only the Keshe Foundation, but you support your language community, as we are all working without borders. And the more languages are walking in, the more beautiful it comes. And they come to the same level as you understand English. You reach them because they understand what this is all about. And then the hesitation to walk in as a knowledge seeker is not so difficult because they know that they can find it in their own language. Thank you very much for all the knowledge seekers which are doing so much work in the background, which is actually not very well known. Unless you step forward and you announce it, then we can see where we can start supporting you from the point of the foundation. Our teams can explain to you how it can be saved and not get lost. Thank you very much. Anybody else?
I have one question regarding what you brought up earlier with the color of Earth and the blue and all of that. And maybe Mr. Keshe can answer whether it's okay for us to take a quote out of the private teaching, let's say, and can we take an excerpt from the private teaching and put it on, for example, our public wishes document here. In this case, it's about a talk about the existence of nitrogen in the upper atmosphere and the interaction of the gravitational magnetic fields and so on to create. And I was thinking that we should post this in the public wishes, but I don't want to do that if it intrudes on the copyright or on the, I know that we're not really supposed to be publishing the things that are in the private teaching.
We don't allow anything from private teaching to be published. If you remember, some time ago, somebody in Africa did, we had to close a lot of things around it. Private teaching stays private, and that's how it was done. We keep it that way because private teaching is there's a lot of questions which is related to the subject, and then they take it out of the context, and they make all sorts of things out of it. So that's the problem. I agreed from the beginning some years ago that the private teaching stays totally private.
Right. So, for example, like Caroline was moved by the words that you said about the atmosphere and about the color blue and all of that, and she wanted to, to present it to us as an idea. So she could take what you said and then put it in her own words, and then present that as an idea. And then we
yes, in a way, yeah, but we keep the private teachings totally private. There's going to be a lot of additions to the teachings in the next few months. The teachings structure is going to be
change quite drastically. Maybe by the end of next year, by 2020, we will offer totally different structure of teaching as we've done up to now. It will be divided into simultaneously to 3 or 4 different classes, where we have learned the people who just join in first year, those who are more advanced, those who want to do more technical, or those who want to do more theoretical. A teaching course worldwide on maybe up to 5 to 10 languages simultaneously. Is something which is planning it for about a year or so, but I think we are on the right track. How to do it? We have a Brazilian education system which is going through. We got to see how that comes and what we learn from it. But the structure of a teaching is we don't allow anything to be released. What we're waiting for is to see what response we get in September onwards from the universities in Brazil, how the students use the teachings, the live teachings, which we have in the institute, and then learn from it. And in 2020, we go with it. Because the students in universities, the 200 of them, will be given direct access to all the teachings. So we'll see how that goes, and then we split right across the teachings. But we don't allow any private teaching to be disclosed. Not at this moment, maybe in the future changes. I'm getting a lot of messages in the background from the also, so just wait 1 second, please.
Are there any more questions in the Q&A, Rick? If you can check, please.
Yeah, this is how it's going to be. We're keeping it as it is. We're not changing anything. There's a restructuring Keshe Foundation altogether in the next few months. And we have to see how and the way we can present it together. A lot of people in the work will be it's just because the way foundation has changed and is changing in the coming weeks. The restructuring is not done by Keshe Foundation as such. We are listening to the governments, what they're asking us, and how it can be done, and the way foundation work is becoming public. We have to adjust. Maybe we don't need to quote anything because the public teachings will be live public teachings worldwide. But at the moment we don't allow it.
We have 2 people which would like to bring something they have developed or done on Thursday morning platform, if there is a possibility to create a room for that and to open more doors in knowledge and understanding.
That has to go to Rick. Rick decides on those.
Yeah, I send them to Rick, but that you're also notified.
If Rick says appropriate, it can be done. He decides on it.
Okay. Are there more soul teachings coming?
We are looking in the Keshe Foundation. We announced it in the coming weeks to come, we are looking to put together an innovation and development group. This is due to what is to come. We are looking for those people who have initiative, or they like or they understand the technology and they want to innovate new products, new anything could be. And we look at it, and if it stands or is financially viable to be commercialized, to be commercialized by the foundation. The innovators, as usual, will have a percentage of the innovation. And we are looking to increase the product lines of the Keshe Foundation in the next 2 years to between 3,000 to 6,000 products. Everything is set up for it. In the coming months, we'll announce more and more behind it. But in 2021, our plan is to have at least a catalog of 6,000 products. This is part of our work. If you know anyone, or because we don't make any more announcements on Thursdays, but in a way, if any knowledge seekers or group of knowledge seekers who are designers, developers, or can deliver conceptual that we can test it, then if it's marketable, financially possible, the foundation will, through the organization set up, will support it. So in the next few weeks, we'll announce a design and innovation group, a team that anybody can submit designs. We don't work on patent. If anybody is patented, we don't accept. And by what we receive, we respect them, we let them to grow with us or bring it in and develop it. And an international organization is involved in this kind of work, but they carry top 1,000 scientists around the world who think the same way as we do. So we'll come to a point that any innovation discoveries which can be commercialized will be brought forward for commercialization. If you're a designer, developer, or you know people, it'll be good to just keep an eye somewhere on the foundation where we could request to make this team up. Could be anything on health, agriculture, on space, material, cosmetics, anything. We'll see it. It's doable, it's financially profitable, that it can be made by factories. Then we are very much open to it in next maybe 2 to 3 months.
Can you please announce the email address to which we can send all our ideas, concepts, and products?
At the moment, let us finish our work first in the next couple of months, as I said, and then just have it in mind. This is what we are looking for.
There is a form on the customer support, or sorry, the Keshe support page, and you can go to, I think it's the innovation category there to select it if you want it for product innovations and that kind of thing. Then you can be in the database that way. So when it comes up later, like Mr. Keshe will mention that you're already in the database and your name will come up, and is someone interested in that.
Because you got to understand, once you design it, has to be built and tested. If it is commercially viable, can be made. And these things all need to be to go to researchers to be tested, developed. A lot of good ideas come, but commercially not viable. the structure of the foundation work is that now we directly engage people who can innovate in any shape or form, which can be sold right across through the newer structure which is coming up. This is the pattern which we will announce the addition to it. Maybe 1,000 offers, we might take 2 or 3 or 5 of them. And this is what I want to set up a group, commercial group, people business-minded, understand what it means, position those who see insight into new, what do you call it, products. Then it goes to evaluation. If it is something can be evaluated, then it goes to the factories to be produced. We already received 2 or 3 products like this, and we think there's a mass production is impossible. But overall, in the next 2 to 3 years, we're looking for a 6,000 product catalog. Work on it in a different way has already started in the past couple of weeks. But once we are ready, we announce completely. In respect to the message you sent me, we do not need any funding for anywhere in the world, US or Africa.
Okay, well, I guess that answers a lot of questions. Then I'm sure Dean will ask, well, how can we make things happen faster in North America, for example? How can he help?
We will respond to it in the coming time. In this one, we don't disclose anything, but in the coming time. At the moment, to be able to set up factories, there's a lot of criteria needs to be met. And a factory to be set up properly, run properly, and be profitable needs around about $300 million. And a small fundraising, 10 million, 20 million, if you can do, will not do the job. It just creates more money. A proper factory is being assessed and worked out to be financially viable, needs to be to certain size. We have all the figures, we know what we're talking about here. It's not that we just build a small factory and it will not work, because the potential of the technology and the changes which is brought around at this moment is so huge that the small factory operation not be able to do unless you're a one man band or a few people having a very small factory. Maybe there's a huge change around the foundation. We will announce it in the coming time. We won't announce it. Governments will announce it in the coming time. The smaller scale operations at this moment, what we see is it will not be a viable proposition, especially in North America. You got to realize we're setting up a world as one nation planet. So we're looking at everything strategically, how, where, and who, and when. And the position of the Keshe Foundation is totally different than a year ago, 2 years ago. We just got to do our way we are doing things, and in time, the governments will announce. wherever we open a factory or decided to open a factory, it will be announced by the nation, not by Keshe Foundation. You will hear it through the governmental operation. For this reason, nothing will be in public till literally when the factories are built and operation. Somebody's tapping, it sounds like Caroline.
You know the sounds of those fingers. Yeah.
It's like a Russian train.
So, Mr. Keshe, we did end up reading the quote today that was provided by Carolina from the about that nitrogen and the blue in the atmosphere and so on. Should we edit that out of our workshop today?
No, we just give it a red card. No, give it a yellow card.
Okay. We'll have a little mark, red mark beside this workshop.
Yeah.
Thou shalt not do that again.
Yes, I will. I obey by the rules.
She gets away with murder sometimes. She moves things around the place and glue and paste things she's not supposed to release. And they say, oh, I made a mistake. She got used to it.
The concept
you know,
is...
people have with children. We are in that position. So she pastes and glues and brings things everywhere. Oh, I didn't know.
Mr. Keshe, you have stimulated all of us to understand the colors, that they are so important when we will start traveling in the universe. And this came up in the soul teaching, so beautiful. And I thought, this cannot be not shared, because it's the understanding why our planet is blue, to understand the color of blue, which is love. That's what our planet is standing for. That's what we will carry as a gift when we start traveling to other dimensions and places, and that humanity needs to know how beautiful they are, because they all know what love is and what care is, and to nourish that in the understanding. And then the part came up with the blue eyes, and Stefania was explaining that she turned blue, and that you asked what happened just a few seconds before you turned blue. And then the soul teaching part of why your eyes can change color. And it is just too beautiful not to share, Mr. Keshe.
A lot of things are beautiful what we don't share.
But that is also, you know, you make and you give something beautiful to stimulate so many more to come.
You see, we stimulate, yeah, but you got to understand in what text or context the teaching is or is done. In this Thursday teaching is a very radical outbreak from the normal teaching, hopefully, if we get it the way we want to do it. But a lot of people, most probably, if we get what we want to be able to do, a lot of people will be shocked in what is about to come out. But we can teach it in private teachings, but in public is a different matter. You remember we have to be very, very careful becoming a international in what I call main press, main news articles in the coming weeks. We have to see where we gone wrong, where we can go right, and how we can change this. Keshe Foundation has moved out of obscurity We're just trying to hold it together till we are ready. We have moved long out of obscurity. We are the major governments to come out public, but we are not ready for it. We are not in so many ways. Under the 6 months, we need to be fully ready now that it's not moving. A lot of people you've seen as Keshe Foundation, people around the foundation, will be taking a lot of charges. And
Hello, Mr. Keshe, are you still there?
Blue Eyes, it's Rick, Blue Eye Carolina. It's collegiate detached to change, like Mr. Keshe say in public teaching about passing away, how to look with the souls of man or the sort of physicality. Why it's my eyes of my father, when I die, I look in the eyes and I see in this color, blue-green, how it's changed. It's farther or further. It's not, it's appropriate talking about blue eyes, no eyes, eye, in a different context. Also, 1 week ago, I asked it's time, proper time for speaking why it's red, why it's blue.
Caroline?
Yes.
You see, my answer, my question has answered.
In what way?
What just Mr. Keshe said?
You got to explain yourself, Jalal.
I asked the question before,
So,
and you replied in a way.
Yes.
And then come just now, Mr. Keshe, and explain what will happen in the future. And this is the structure what I asked about.
Yes, but you cannot follow the structure if you don't know the details of the structure and the purpose of the structure.
This is what I wanted to know. So
Yes,
Mr. Keshe brought it in.
Yes, because you got to understand we are on a public platform, Jalal, and there are a lot of new people coming in. So if they don't have a total overview, and then as your wish comes through, you get then the additional information coming on top of it, but at least the people can orientate what we are discussing and what, because a lot of people will come in even listening or bumping into these teachings because they're in public. And if they get a total overview, then they can follow the steps. That's why we don't mind to repeat the structure, how it's set, why we are working in that kind of structure. And it makes it a lot easier for the newcomers to come in.
Let me explain something. In the last Thursday teaching, 3 of the World Bank's directors were sitting on the listening part. From Citibank and 2 major other banks were in the audience. This is how Keshe Foundation is moving. There is a lot of interest gathering in Round Foundation internationally. And we were told that powerful bankers are online. We were given the names, we checked, they were there, they were sitting in different channels. So when you go public, if you notice, we don't make any public announcement in any shape or form. We still keep away from making it, but everything we teach has to be 100% correct. Even I've told Caroline, all the private, even private teachings has to be brought into orders. The image of the Keshe Foundation internationally has changed. You will see exactly what we're talking about. The technology has proven beyond shadow of a doubt to be 100% correct. And these things will create ripples, and we'll see people coming on. And a number of new people you will see, we know who they are. They come in to see what they can gather to use or abuse. So all the private teachings and the public teachings has to be kept, and one cannot start. New guidelines in the next couple of weeks will be set out by the foundation from the teaching side and everything else. We're bringing a total tightness on, call it correct, open, but very, very much in line with what we try to do, to keep a very open sharing knowledge, but at the same time being aware that the Keshe Foundation has reached totally different position internationally. In most of our meeting, many of our meetings nowadays, there are members of press sitting in 1 and 2s, even in our negotiations. The foundation has broken through in a massive way, but we have asked and been respected that for the coming time, we're allowed to organize ourselves for next 3 to 6 months. If there's any question, I can answer. Keshe Foundation at this moment is very much in the turmoil, but in the coming weeks, we'll decide in which way we'll go and how we'll come and how we go down to the basic and we build back up. Doesn't matter, we don't work on who's here, what is done or what they've done. It's what they can and where they're good at and how we can utilize the maximum in all operations. Any other question? I go back to my work. I'm behind. I'll do it.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe, for joining us. I think we're going to start hitting our marker of the 4 hour. So, Rick and knowledge seekers, if there are any more questions, I think we can call it a day today. What do you think, Rick?
Yep, that sounds good. I think we've had a complete full workshop here. some good information came out, and some interesting wishes for the world and for others, for ourselves.
Thank you, Knowledge Seeker. Thank you, team, for being there today. It was a beautiful session. And tomorrow Rick starts early in the morning, and then we go, that's public. And then we go in private teaching with me, and then Thursday morning, Mr. Kesh. And we go from one teaching session to another. And Eva has found something out. She's done the calculation, and she says that there are exactly up till now 141 private teachings of Mr. Kesh. And she was calculating the amount of time.
How many?
141 private teachings. And if you listen to 3 teachings a day, you can finish all your teachings within a month and a half.
Please ask me about that. Ask me about that.
That is
There is a private teaching exclusively for scientists on Thursdays. It happens once a week or once a month or that about. And I teach only elite scientists. We have the 3rd session this week. You have to be a scientist of a high caliber from governments, scientists from universities, and involved in research in plasma. This is the first time we disclose this. You have to be scientists of at least master's PhDs in technical high-level plasma physics, understanding the work of the Keshe Foundation. We are looking for elite scientists, elite world scientists. We don't disclose their names. The 3rd session takes place this Thursday. We are looking to train world scientists in plasma to work collectively on research and development. The groups at the moment are around about 20, but if you know, they have to, their credentials will be checked thoroughly by securities, national securities outside Keshe Foundation, by government. They're looking for elite world scientists to join these very exclusive private teachings. It's the way we teach on Wednesday morning agriculture. On Wednesday afternoon, we teach medicine. The 3rd session of World Elite Scientists in Plasma Physics will take place this week. If you know anyone, they have to be at the highest level in research and development in plasma physics. And we increase this number to the following month in May to about 300 elite world scientists will join in that level of teaching. So they're coming up. But we are looking to be world elite scientists, to be taught. I teach personally directly with them. We go through everything. And then we are teaching, we are entering the next phase of what we call, it's been called the elite world scientist, to be taught. And the numbers builds up to about 350 by May, June. And we have no limitation, language or nationality. The 3rd session is this week. And then we go into the other sessions once a month. There is no time limit, 3 hours, 6 hours, 10 hours, till all the scientists don't stop. We carry on teaching. It will be the only time you will see live presentations where scientists will discuss, solve problems in every direction, from agriculture to space to every other aspects. It's part of the Keshe Foundation elite teaching, and we started it. It's been successful. We added 300 more this week too. Maybe more, but it'll be around about 350, but we make it public. We're looking for elite world scientists in plasma physics. So that's another surprise for you lot. Let's see where we go. We go again to talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Keshe. Thank you, team, and see you next time.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Carolina, Mr. Keshe, and help from Flint and others in the workshop here. And thanks to everybody, all our knowledge seekers around the world that support this wonderful teaching. This has been the 73rd One Nation, One Planet, One Race for World Peace on Tuesday, April 2nd, 2019. Production of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. Thanks, everyone, and see you next time around.
Hello. We are the Keshe Foundation. Our mission is to bring peace on Earth and join humanity with the universal community. We wish and work to bring man as equal to all beings in the universe. By teaching plasma science and technology equally to everyone, no one is left out and no one is abused due to lack of knowledge. By donating to us, you can help achieve this goal. keshefoundation.org/donate.
Plasma products found at keshefoundation.org/store. Soothing, reusable plasma eye and migraine mask. Eliminate eye fatigue and relieve stress in eye area. European certified medical device. Massaging plasma insoles. Bring comfort back to your feet and energize your legs. European CE certified medical device. Antiseptic plasma liquid hand soap. Promotes well-being and relaxation with protective plasma formula. CE certified. One Soul Plasma T-shirt. GAN's formula within the symbols and stripes brings mind, soul, and body into balance. European certified. Pain Relief Pen. Emits a concentrated plasma field at point of pain, efficient up to 3 centimeters below the skin. CE certified. The Magravs Energizer and Alkalizer raises pH and energizes water through magnetic and gravitational fields. CE certified medical device. Pain Relief Pad, a result of years of research in nanoplasma technology with magnetic and gravitational fields. CE certified medical device. Visit the online store at keshefoundation.org/store or find a distributor near you. Tax and shipping not included.